Generative AI, a subclass of AI, where a lot of local businesses start to play around with AI. Well, what are they doing and what do they think of it? We'll find out in about 30 seconds.
Welcome to Corey's Local Marketing Minute, an enlightening and entertaining look at what's happening in the world of local advertising and marketing. Corey's Local Marketing Minute is brought to you by Advertisers.
Advertisers provides best-in-class digital advertising solutions. Our proprietary technology covers your entire sales funnel, from proposal creation and campaign launch to monitored performance. We collaborate with local media companies and agencies to deliver excellent customer service, sales support, campaign management, and more. As an industry leader, we'll go above and beyond to ensure your success. Unlock your digital advertising potential with Advertisers.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part two. Welcome back to part two of our two-part series on AI. Specifically, we're talking about generative AI this time. And this is the part of the video where I usually tell you to subscribe and all that stuff, but you've been there, done that, and if you haven't, you should. But I want to take this opportunity to remind you that if you want to come to Borrell's next conference, which is going to be fundamentally different than the ones before it, now's your time. Go to BorrellPhoenix.com. You sleuths out there probably surmised that our next conference is in Phoenix. Like I said, fundamentally different kind of conference this year, or next year, March of 25. More intimate, more interactive. The attendee list will be held to 200 people, so get in early. But let's get back to the subject at hand, generative AI and local advertisers. So in our previous video, we learned that local advertisers are pretty open to AI, maybe a little cautious, but not only are they using it to help them be more efficient, but a good deal of them are also utilizing it to help them brainstorm and be more creative when it comes to marketing. So we got into that a little bit. And once we discovered the tools they were using, things started to click a little bit more. Let me show you what I mean. Once we started talking to them about generative AI, it became pretty clear that for most of them, their experience was centered around ChatGPT. That's fine, but like I said, once we defined it, we then asked them their opinions about generative AI as it applies to marketing and got back some interesting results. We asked, how would you classify your personal opinion about the use of generative AI in advertising and marketing overall? They had 4 choices. Hesitant, slightly enthusiastic, or enthusiastic. Here's how it broke out. A third were hesitant, a third was slightly enthusiastic, 20% were slightly hesitant, and 14% were enthusiastic. So you can see kind of spread out, right? Maybe leaning a little bit towards the hesitant side. But again, remember the question, how would you classify your personal opinion about the use of Gen AI in advertising and marketing overall? We didn't really ask them about their company, we asked them about what they thought. Then we got into how are they using it in their company? And we asked an open-ended question. So we didn't give them choices. So the number 1 answer, writing and editing, fair enough. But what about number 2? Again, we just asked the question. We didn't give them a list. Hot on the heels behind writing and editing, content creation. So if you remember from the other video, they were already telling us they were using AI to help them brainstorm creative ideas. Now they're telling us they're actually letting it create content. And they've indicated the willingness to explore other ways to use AI in marketing. We know this because we asked. In the next 6 months, how likely are you to experiment with generative AI tools that you haven't used before? 10% said definitely will, 28% said probably will. And these numbers go up dramatically when we rebase the respondents by those who have been using AI, because this is overall all SMBs. When we look at the ones who are already using AI, it jumps up to 18% and 45%. So if they're already using it now, they're probably going to start using it more. But is there a dark side? Yes, there is. We asked about negative experiences, not what they guessed would be negative, experience they've actually had. And a full 48% had the same experience, the same negative experience. And that was the AI tool produced inaccurate info. Now, sure, that's negative, but these SMBs are smart enough to understand that will happen. They're going to kind of take the bad with the good at this point because it is helping them be more efficient and helping them to brainstorm. And we can tell that through their comments. And I want to share some of them with you right now. Let's see if we can be clever about this. See, I'm going to be a local advertiser, and this is like a little word bubble. Let me read you some of the things they're saying about GenAI. We simply asked them to tell us about their experiences with generative AI and what they thought. Here's one guy somewhere in the education field who said, "For artistic generative AI, I am hesitant. However, for helping outline potential content, I am more enthusiastic. It's a tool, not an end." See, that's showing that they understand some of the limitations. Here's another. Tell us more about generative AI. "It's exciting. I've been impressed with the meta recap of people's conversations. That's my extent of this, and I can only imagine how it can be applied in the business world." Here's somebody else in the arts and entertainment category who says, "I don't touch a marketing project anymore without employing some kind of AI." A lot of local businesses are out there using GenAI and understanding the limitations of it, but they're still using it to create content and help them brainstorm. But some have a slightly different opinion. Remember how a good portion of local businesses were enthusiastic, yet a good portion were hesitant? So there are local businesses on both sides of the seesaw. For instance, here's somebody in retail trade. When we asked them to tell us more about generative AI, we said, "No confidence on accuracy. You lose the personal touch. It's a lazy way to create. It's a sad way to go. I would not hire any company or PR person who relies on generative AI to produce their work." Geez, here's another one, retail trade. "It is taking the reality out of society." And finally, somebody in healthcare, "AI equals the end of humanity." I'm with them.
You've been watching Corey's Local Marketing Minute, sponsored by our friends at Adcelerant. Learn more at adcelerant.com. Remember, if you'd like to hear more of Corey's insights, check out the Local Marketing Trends podcast. Just Google Borrell Podcast or look for the podcast link on BorrellAssociates.com.